Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Future Knights Eric here, back with another deck profile. Same hole, same hole, I suppose. Well, this is the second time uploading a Altergeist deck profile. This is my Altergeist OTS Winnermat winning deck profile. As you can see, we've got this beautiful, I don't know the link name for it. I think it's Red Eyes Black Darkness Metal Dragon or whatever it is. It's quite a beautiful mat. More on the mat a little bit later though. I think I have an idea which might give one lucky person the chance to get this mat. But more on that a little bit later. Hey ladies and gentlemen, future Eric here. I just thought that was a pun, by the way, because my channel's name's Future Knights. Future Eric here. Just to put this in post-editing, I was going to explain the giveaway a little bit later in the deck profile, but for those of you who don't have the time, because it is quite a lengthy deck profile, I didn't realize until afterwards, I thought I would do the details for the giveaway here. I will be giving away this beautiful mat with its original packaging. I just took it out for the deck profile, as well as the field center. To one lucky person who likes, comments, and subscribes. I will be able to check, obviously, those who comment if they are subscribed and vice versa, just to give back to the community. I'm feeling, as you can see, quite festive, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all you need to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you're subscribed already, thank you so much. Let's try and get to 300 subscribers. I think we're relatively close. One thing though, I am putting a bit of a minimum cap on this. I would like at least 20 comments, just to give it a little bit of fairness with regards to how random it is. Obviously, if 3 people comment, you know, it's kind of like, and it's 3 people I know that go to my locals, it's a little bit silly. But yeah, if you are in South Africa and you are not in Joburg, Gauteng, I will post it to you. However, if you are a overseas player not situated in South Africa, we'll have to discuss the shipping, because shipping overseas in South Africa is very expensive. I will obviously do my best to contribute as much, always to cover the entire thing, but depending on where you are, it might be more expensive as to other places, and I don't trust our South African post office to get it to you, especially during December and Christmas. But all the details will be fleshed out in PMs. Otherwise, yeah, enjoy the rest of the deck profile. So tonight was obviously an OTS locals. We had a turnout of, I believe, 9 people, so it was just 4 rounds. There was no top cut, which is always nice. Get the duels in, get them done, walk away with the goods. Yeah, so to start off my matchups, round 1 was against Andre, who I didn't know what he was playing until game 2, but he was playing going second ABCs. He was main decking Kaijus, Super Polys, all that jazz. Our game 1, like I said, I didn't get to see what he was playing. He drew only Kaijus and going second cards, and obviously Super Poly and stuff like that doesn't really hurt Altergeist, so I was just able to snowball into a game state where he couldn't play, and I actually had one of these huge Kaijus to just fucking murder him with. Game 2, he actually managed to get some plays in, but the most noticeable play that I saw was his main board ended with ABC Buster, IP, and the Platinum Gadget. So what I ended up doing was I Kaiju'd his ABC. I then set Ice Dragon Prison. He then, end of main phase 2, went to Avramax, and then during his turn I actually Ice Dragon Prisoned away the Avramax, because IP Masquerena is a Cyberburst monster. I didn't end up winning that game. I misplayed quite badly. He went into Utopia double, and he attacked with Utopia, negated the attack, obviously, but then I chained Concurry. It's kind of weird. I'm not actually sure if that interaction was right. He declared, and then activated effect and declaration, and then on declaration I think I went chaining 2, which was silly. I should have let him negate the attack, and then when he attacked with the big 10,000, that's when I should have negated it. And obviously the Concurry targeting the Utopia does nothing really. It still gains the effect because, well, it still gains the attack because of double nothing the spell card. Not sure about that interaction. Maybe if someone's watching this in the comments can let me know if that's right. He did the Utopia double play with Utopia and then the Utopia double underneath. He declared an attack detached for effect, for cost, and then I chained Concurry. The attack was negated anyway. Yeah, just if somebody can clear that up for me. I'm not sure if that interaction was right. Irrespective though, we then went to game 3. I sided in some stuff because I knew what was happening. I ogred the Union Hanger. I ashed. There was a card that added that he was playing. So I just drew into too many hand traps that he couldn't play. And then obviously traps and multi-fake, and you just snowball. So that was game 1, probably the most interesting game, round 1. That was probably the most interesting round. Round 2 was against Dom. Obviously I mentioned Dom a lot on this channel. He's my testing partner. He was playing Dracos, and this build that I've got going on right now is very, very strong. And luckily, before the tournament, I knew that the tournament would be very back row based. A lot of the players were playing a lot of back row. So I sided in adequate back row removal, and yeah, I 2-0'd him relatively easy. He summoned an Inspector Border, but he miszoned it, and I actually got very lucky. I summoned the Milisiki, didn't have any back row to back it up, and I went into Relinquish Anima, and I stole the Inspector Border. Very, very powerful. Not really a misplay on his part, just a something that if I wasn't playing that card, he would have won. Inspector Water ruins this deck. So that was round 2. Round 3 was against Yasha. Game 1 was absolutely brutal. It took, I think, 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. He misplayed. He didn't summon his red layer before he summoned the connector. He saw the connector and got excited. I ashed it. But he then had drag down, and then he top decked really well with the drag down, and he actually ripped an imperm out of my hand. Very, very strong. He ended up going sort of full combo. He didn't rip as many as he would have liked. He ended up with the Herald and the Borrowed Savage, as well as the Auroradon and a Token and a Cold Wing, so not too strong. And then what ended up happening was I top decked a Kaiju. So I Kaiju the Borrowed Savage, normal Marionetta. Didn't use Marionetta's effects because my hand was gas. I think it was Multi-Faker, Protocol, and Imperm. Not an Imperm, a Strike. Then attacked over the Herald, and then set my cards, and then it actually, that wasn't a game from there. He actually Colt Wing attacked into my Silk, which I obviously got off the Multi-Faker, and the game went on for a very long time. That Colt Wing attacking the Silk was actually so strong because I used the Strike to negate the Auroradon's effect to destroy a card, Tribute and Destroy. So the Strike was already used up. Basically all I had was a spoofing, and then I had the bounce of Silk. So he attacked the Silk, forced out the bounce, bounced back the Colt Wing, and then he went into this crazy combo where he ended on Gearfried with the negate, and he had Charles with 2 attaches that made it that it couldn't be targeted, which ruins my deck, and then the one that says it can't be destroyed. Very difficult to out. I think I ended up outing it by using Concurry to negate the one target one, and then I used Milisik to send the other target one equip, and then I ended up using Silk to bounce back the Charles. And then I attacked over the Gearfried with Hexteer. I managed to, I think I did my Haunted Rock combo and got, quite a bit of advantage and was able to clear that board, but it was very back and forth. Game 2, what happened? I think he went first. He went full combo, ripped everything. I didn't even wait. I just went to game 3, and then game 3 I drew absolutely mad. I drew hand traps, I drew traps. Even if he cleared my board with like Harpy's Feather Dust, I had the hand traps in hand, and he just couldn't play through it. It was just mad. Round 4 was against Jacques. He was playing Cosmos. He didn't really get into many of his pilots. Again, that case of going second decks, only seeing their going second cards. He saw Kaijus, he saw Mystic Mine and stuff like that. Mystic Mine is a hell of a card, especially against my deck being the combo-esque version. So the way I actually outmine without siding is I'll link monsters into a monster, and then I'll Solemn Strike or Judgment the monster. and then I end my turn with a Faker in hand, and then the Mystic Mine dies. That's like my only out to mine. It's actually ridiculous. But yeah, obviously games 2 and 3 you can just side in back row hate. Games 2 and 3, again, he just didn't see his cards, and then the fateful mistake he made was he normal summoned Tin Can and activated an E-Telly in the column that I had set an impermed onto the Tin Can, and then obviously the E-Telly fizzled, which just ruined his plays, unfortunately. But yeah, that was pretty much the tournament. Great tournament overall. This deck profile is probably a little bit better than my last one, because my last one I was so tired. This one I'm a bit more awake, and there have been a few changes, not many. But for somebody who's getting into the deck, Altergeist, this is probably the video for you, because I'll be spending maybe a little bit more time explaining what the cards do, just for the newer players, because I know a lot of newer players watch these OTS winning videos. So yeah, let's just jump into the deck profile, ladies and gentlemen. Also from my packs I managed to pull a Flesia, and then obviously we've got this beautiful field center that came went to the top 4. Okay, to start off we obviously play the best card in the deck, 3 Multi-Faker. So what this guy does is, in a new chain, if a trap card resolved or was activated and resolved successfully, that is very important, it has to resolve. You can reveal this card in hand, special summon it, that's its first effect, activates in hand. Second effect is activates on field, summons a Altergeist monster from your deck. Most broken card in the deck, this is what gets the snowball going, this is what wins you the duels. I'm so glad this card is back at 3. Other 3 of more important, especially because we're playing the Haunted Rock version. Marionetta, this one on the normal summon, only a normal summon, you set a Altergeist trap card from your deck. Most cases, if you draw Marionetta and Faker, that is the Haunted Rock combo, but other times you'll be setting Manifestation and Protocol. From there, it has a secondary effect where it targets a Altergeist card on your field, card, very specific, and a Altergeist monster in your graveyard. Its target isn't really cost, but that is technically its cost. From there, it then switches them out, basically tributing and summoning, but that is the effect. The effect is not tributing the card it targets on field. Very, very important. Very cool. It allows you to resolve Multi-Fake in your turn if you don't have a trap, so it just gives you crazy amounts of advantage. And like I said, also makes the Haunted Rock combo possible. I'll probably show that combo. Actually, I am going to show that combo at the end of this video. I said I would last time, but I was very tired. I'm feeling pretty good, so I will show that combo at the end of the video. Other best card, all the Altergeist cards are just insane. Millisseek, this card is your, it should just say search for Multi-Fake on it, but honestly sometimes you don't, but that's what it's for. It's when it hits the grave from the field, if it goes to graveyard from the field, search an Altergeist monster, not card. It also has a very, very powerful continuous effect to be able to attack directly, and then an activated effect of if it does any battle damage or any damage to your opponent's life points, target a card in field, send it to grave. Very, very powerful. Yeah, not much to say there. That's your searcher, quote unquote. The brick, but the card that makes Multi-Faker powerful is Silk. Silk is the one that bounces an Altergeist card. Once again, card doesn't have to only be monster. To your hand, targets a card in field. That's all part of the cost. Like again, target isn't really cost, but just for explanation's sake, we'll call it that. And then it bounces a card back to your opponent's hand. Card is very important. It doesn't have to be face up, face down, spell, monster, doesn't matter. So this is what puts on the pressure on your opponent from the Multi-Faker. If you're not summoning out this, if you have enough traps to stall your opponent or to stop them, stun them, you'll usually be summoning out the Millisseek, because then during your turn you can link the Multi-Faker and Millisseek into a Hextia and search Marionetta and just go absolutely insane from there. One Concurry, once again, always think about cutting it, but I never do, because why would you cut a card that wins you duels? This card is insane. It won me a couple of duels today, like I said, against Yasha, negating the one card that says you can't target. Yeah, it's just super, super powerful. I wouldn't change it. The fact that it can stop attacks of like stuff like Dragoons and Abramax so that you can potentially draw your outs, also very powerful. It's a staple in the deck at this point. You can't really cut it, and if you do cut it, you should have it in the side. Now this is different. We are playing 3 main deck Kaijus. This is the best decision I have ever made. Outing Abramax, outing Dragoons, outing Zeus, outing Inspector Border, outing Fossil Diner, outing ABC Buster Dragon. This decision to main deck Kaijus is the best decision I think I've ever made, especially with this upcoming format for the December 15th ban list. A lot of decks are now running this almost pseudo boss monster type deal with a lot of stun and like big boss monsters like a Calamities, a Dragoons, a Zeus, like I was saying, Giant. So just having the Kaijus to get rid of that Uno problem is just insane. It's so strong. I would not cut this now, especially like I said, moving into this next format. Worst case scenario, I'd maybe play 2, but even then, just seeing this card, top decking this card, changes the whole game. That game against Yasha, a Herald and a Borrowed Savage, if I didn't draw Kaiju, I would have lost. I would have normal Marionetta, not activated effect, attacked into Herald, and then I would have had to use the strike on the Borrowed Savage in the following turn. It wasn't ideal. The Kaiju made it so effortless in a sense. It just gets rid of such problematic cards. Definitely would continue main decking these. 3 Ash Blossoms. This is going off what my good friend Byron has said. Ash is very, very strong this turn. A lot of decks not doing as much combo stuff, like I said, moving into a more stun heavy format. So just having that Ash to stop their one search or the one crazy card, very, very powerful. Nadia's Servant, Ash, that sometimes if their hand isn't ideal, they can't really carry on from there. Just very strong card overall. Shout out Jacques, who Ash my spoofing twice. So basically I just went like neg 2 for nothing. It was awful. And then I ended up top decking a Maliseek at some point, and he didn't have that 3rd Ash, so I could play. But yeah, this card is needed in this format. Another good card in this format, I would say, is definitely Ogre. Being able to hit field spells, and also Dragon Link is still a thing. Is just very, very strong. Sometimes even against Zoo, if they do tend to activate their normal summon and they start overlaying, if they do attempt to activate it in your Ogre, it kind of breaks their whole goal, I suppose. Fex Veiler, not really liking at the moment. Unfortunately, it does kind of need a spot in this deck because it's part of a combo, but it isn't really necessary. 1/1 guard card. This card allows you to out Inspector Border. You use this if you draw a Maliseek. So you use this, summon Maliseek, link it into Link Karibo, summon another Maliseek attack, send the Inspector Border. It's funny because it's like it does come up, but also it just allows you to make Hexias going first if you don't draw the Marionette and Multifaker for the Haunted Rock combo, and it's just an insane card. 3 Extrav, great card. Happened today against Andre, where I extraved and then drew into the other 2 extravagants. It was dog shit. Funny event. Everybody was watching at that point. Our game went on for quite a while, and something to definitely remember. But yeah, this card is Pot of Greed in this deck. Trap cards. Haunted Rock. We'll show the combo at the end of this video. 2 Manifestation, 2 Protocol, 3 Spoofing. Not much has changed here from my previous list. Only thing is I have thought about bumping Protocol up to 3, even though it is a hard once per turn. It makes your cards absolutely wild. Against Jacques, he ashed my Multifaker when it hit the field. I think it was in game 1, and I was like, okay, cool, your ash is discarded, resolves just fine, because Protocol, it's just mad. Spoofing, definitely MVP today, especially. Sometimes I don't even like using the spoofing or seeing the spoofing when my hand is good enough, but today it helped a lot. I wouldn't change the ratios of any of these, to be honest with you. Like I said, maybe a 3rd Protocol. The 2 Manifestation, as I said in my previous deck profile, I like it in the grind game. Just for a little bit more explanation, Spoofing is the one that shuffles back an Altergeist card, but only as an Altergeist monster. Very powerful card. The shuffle in is cost though, that's why if it gets ashed, it's like a neg. Very hard neg. Protocol is the one that makes it that your Altergeist monster's effects and activations cannot be negated, and you can send a face-up Altergeist card, important, to negate the activation or effect of a monster, hard once per turn. Manifestations is the Monster Reborn pseudo Call of the Haunted, I believe it's called. Actually, it is, yeah, Call of the Haunted. Just want to show you guys something quickly, just for the memes while we're here. You guys can have a little bit of a look into my collection. I don't know why I have so many of these. Oh, and then there's some other garbage. But yeah, I have a lot of Call of the Haunted. But yeah, these are Call of the Haunted specifically for Altergeist monsters. And then the Haunted Rock, absolutely awful card. Seeing this in your hand is the worst thing you could ever have. But it makes cards or hands that are sometimes bricks into very, very strong hands. So I'll show that combo at the end of the video. 3 Imperm. Once again, shout outs to Michael for letting me use his secrets. I actually do have my ultras at this point in time, so I will be changing them out and then giving his secrets back. Shout out to Henny for selling me the 3rd Imperm. I heard you are retiring from the game. We're gonna miss you, my dude. Thank you so much for like all the games and for helping out a bro with like stuff like the Predapont link and just over the years helping me out and making me a better player. But yeah, shout outs to him. Obviously, shout out to Michael. Imperm Faker is using the FTK. Very, very strong. Yeah, this card comes in clutch all the time. Same as the hand traps. Very, very powerful. You have to play it. Still opting to main the 3 Judgments. I'm always conflicted about this. Robert tells me no, and my brain tells me yes. I always cut it and then put other cards in, and then don't like the other cards I put in. I Compulse, Lost Wind. Oh, excuse me, Lost Wind. Stuff like that. It's just not as good. Judgments is just insane, especially against other stun / back row decks. It's just so powerful. Then we've got 3 Strike, still one of the most powerful cards in the game. Going first, going seconds, it helps break boards. Going first, it just stops things like hand traps. It's very, very strong. Yeah, not much to say here. This is a staple in the deck, can never be changed. And then finally, MVP of today, even though I only used it once, that Avramax IP play was fucking huge brain, dude. Ice Dragon Prison, this card is slowly becoming probably my favorite card in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment. It's just such an interesting, intricate card. I'm loving how a lot of the new cards that are coming out stray away from targeting, and then eventually, like that Link 5 that's coming out, I believe, in the next set, eventually stuff that targets will be so scarce that things that can only be targeted will become powerful. It's kind of like power creeping them into each other. It's very cool. But this card as of right now is just insane. It's so powerful. The art is awesome. The card is awesome. You have to, I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, you have to play this card right now to be able to out things like Dragoons, Avramax, and all that. So that's main deck 41. The 41st card is indeed the Haunted Rock. You could cut that, like I said, but I like playing the combo version. Extra deck, we play the Altergeist. I don't even know how to say it, Dragverion, and the what is this? The Prime Banshee. So the Prime Banshee, like I said in my last profile, comes up sometimes. It's very random, very strange. The Dragverion is kind of because I don't play Effect Veiler, so I can't do the Cheeky and Ingrisu combo, which I'll show, well, I've shown in my previous deck profile and I'll explain here. So this is actually, you can make this, if you go Hulky Fibrax, you can make it using Silk as well as a Ash Blossom, the Ash Blossom that we main deck, which is funny. And then this becomes a double negate with your Hextia, and then if you've got a fake in hand, Hextia becomes like a triple negate. So it's just a bit of a meme. Also, it's got some like random attack stopping thing. You can return an Altergeist monster you control to the hand, negate the attack. Just random. It's kind of like a Link Rebo and tribute fodder for the Hextia. Prime Banshee's cool. Being able to tribute a card, quick effect, summon from deck. Like if you have a garbage Altergeist monster in hand and you want to resolve a faker, you can just make this, summon a Altergeist, the garbage one, to where zone points to, like a marionetta, and then, for instance, and then you can distribute it during their turn, get the faker, get the bounce back. So also she's quite thick, 2100, and sometimes when you run out of your Hexteers, you kind of need the link bodies, and this is definitely the next best one next to Hexteer. Speaking of Hexteers, best card in the entire deck. Shout outs to Dom, who used that new trap card where you banish your extra deck face down and your opponent has to banish them face down, but only until the end phase, which is not great, but still very, very strong. He made me banish all 15 cards, and I could have made 3 Hexteers in a turn, and I ended up just passing with like a Milliseek, a Marionetta, a Faker, and a Sulk. It was very, very strange. But yeah, this card, not once per turn, tribute to Altergeist card, it points to, negates the activational effect of a spell card, trap card, and then if it leaves the field if it hits the grave from field, search any Altergeist card. This is the only card in my knowledge that searches any Altergeist card. Insane card. Also, it gains attack of Altergeist monsters it points to, which allows you to OTK. Yes, you heard right. You can OTK with Altergeist. It's absolutely insane. Best card. It's the reason I play the deck. It's so cool. Dragoons out. Can technically easily make it. Dragoons out, not as easy anymore because we don't run the Effect Veiler. I might have to just make it 42 and put in Effect Veiler but yeah. Then we got the Unicorn, just generic removal. Hockey Firebracks, which is part of that combo that you use to make the Synchro Drag Varion. IP Masquerainer to go into the Unicorn for random plays. Also, IP Masquerainer and a Hexteer into your Avramax is still very, very strong. Phoenix, I kind of feel like I should probably cut the IP for second Phoenix. It did come up quite often today where I needed a second Phoenix. Almirage, Anima, best level 1 Link 1. Link Rebo. These cards again are just to get the search off your Milliseek. And the Almirage is also good with a Silk and a Manifestation in hand. You can then tribute you normal summon the Silk, make the Almirage, Manifestation back to Silk, and then your Silk is live, which is quite nice. And if you've got a multi-fake in hand, you can also trigger that, which is awesome. Link Reba is cool. The making 0 not once per turn, like I said in my previous video, if you have this and a Milliseek, they attack, make 0, tribute the Milliseek, summon this back, Milliseek search, and then this makes 0 again. Very, very cool. Not much to say here. Obviously, the Hockey Firebracks combos, you summon out the Effect Veiler, use the Effect Veiler into one of these 3, and then you can go into Ningrisu to out your Dragoons / Avramax. Didn't come up. But yeah, these cards are good placeholders. You could alternatively play stuff against the Dogmatica matchup, or Super Poly targets, or I don't know. You can do a lot. Cherries targets potentially. The extra deck isn't very tight at all. I just like running this lineup because it's stuff that I can actually go into and stuff that I'm comfortable with. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the extra deck. Side deck has changed quite a bit. Best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment, Pankatops. Insane card. Explaining my last deck profile. Everybody knows what this does by now. Please, Konami, give us this to 3. They won't, but please. 2 Lancia, 2 Droll. These are pretty self-explanatory against Virtual World right now, as well as what's the other one? Dinos, Orcust. Droll is kind of just good against rogue stuff as well, random rogue stuff. I might cut them, see how I feel. 2 Ogre, like I said, Ogre's quite strong this format, I would say. And then Driver and 2 Gammas. I don't really have an excuse for this. All I can say is shout out to Byron for showing me this. His one side deck that he showed me, I'm sure it's changed by now, it looked like this, and he said technically against certain matchups these all do the same thing, like against Dragon Link, for instance. So the Gamma, instead of running 3 of this and then the Driver, you run 2, because then when you Gamma, you take out the brick, and then you've only got 1 Gamma left, which if you draw it sucks, but you have a less likely chance because you're not running 3. So I like this. I'm going to keep trying it. Apparently the OCG is quite fond of this. It's an interesting concept. Extra side deck space is tight, so I think I might just keep doing that. So that's the hand traps. And then, like I said, I expected heavy back row, so I played heavy back row removal. The Harpy's Feather Duster I sometimes don't side because you can't chain it in draw phase, which is not great. But these are strong. I just wanted a little bit of diversity. I didn't want to run 3 of either or, so I ran 2 and 2. It did come up. I did draw these against Dom, the Draco matchup, which is where they counted the most. Great cards. I think I'm going to stick with this ratio moving forward. And that's pretty much the deck profile. I gave shoutouts throughout the video. Obviously, the biggest shoutouts did come in my previous video, which was a bit of a bigger top, I would say. But this top is great nonetheless. I hope everybody who watched this enjoyed it. I hope this might help some people who are interested into getting into Altergeist, especially for this upcoming format. I think they're very, very strong. Maybe tier 1, not rogue, hopefully. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Oh, actually, hold on a minute. Coming after this will be the Haunted Rock combo. So let me just get that set up. But otherwise, that's the deck profile, ladies and gentlemen. We'll move into the combo, and then that'll be the end of the video. Welcome to the Haunted Rock combo section of this video. This will be relatively quick, just showing off the combo that can be done with Haunted Rock and why we play it. So to do this combo, you will need Marionetta and Multifaker in hand. Obviously, if you have one more Altergeist monster in hand, it becomes a little bit stronger, which I'll explain during the combo. But yeah, so the way it goes is you normal summon Altergeist Marionetta, setting your Altergeist Haunted Rock. Altergeist Haunted Rock is the only Altergeist card that I know of that reads that if it's set by an Altergeist monster, or actually if it's set by an Altergeist card, you can activate it the turn that it's set. So you will set, activate. Now, Altergeist Haunted Rock, when activated, you have to discard an Altergeist monster. This is a condition, so you need to have the Altergeist monster in hand to be able to discard. Now, obviously, if you have a monster that isn't Multi-Faker, you discard that instead, but in this case, we only have the Faker. So you'll discard your Faker. Then what you'll do is you'll use Marionetta's effect, targeting Haunted Rock as well as Multi-Faker. Once again, it is not cost to tribute to summon. It happens simultaneously as part of effect. So if they Veiler you here or Imperm you here, you actually get to keep your Haunted Rock. Not that it's a great card. The other effect Haunted Rock has is you can discard a Altergeist monster, or no, you can send an Altergeist monster from your hand to the graveyard, yeah, to negate the activation of a trap card. So not great, because it's technically a neg-2. You have to discard on activation, and you have to discard to negate a trap. So not great to have on field, but it's still something. If you have a spoofing, you can shuffle it back. So Marionetta target, tribute summon. Obviously you want to play a little bit into zones here, probably a Marionetta under one of your extra deck zones, because then what will end up happening is your Multi-Faker will trigger, summoning your Milliseek. Milliseek is going to be linked away regardless, so whether you summon, whether you use the Marionetta or the Faker is up to you, but going second, oftentimes you will link the two into Hextia, leaving the Marionetta because it gives the Hextia a little bit more of a buff. Then from here, your Milliseek will then search you a second Multi-Faker. Then obviously if you're going second, here you would probably get some damage in. 3-1 is quite a lot of damage, gaining the original attack of Marionetta. 3-1 and 1-6. And then in main phase 2, you'd link these two away. Going first, you obviously link these two away irrespective into your second Hextia. Then your Hextia will either search a manifestation or a protocol. Now, going up against a back row deck, you're probably more likely to add the manifestation. Going against a monster heavy deck, you want to add the protocol. The manifestation play, the way that works is you'll set the manifestation, add it to hand, set the manifestation. Activate manifestation probably during draw phase, just to play around things that work in standby and main. To summon back your Hextia. Then from here, you'll chain your multi-faker, summon the faker to summon your silk. Now, there is a method that you can do if you play it from this side, and you keep the way that I've structured it here. You could also structure it like this. Now, reason being you can structure it like this is when it's structured like this, if they have a kaiju and they kaiju this, it kind of breaks all your negates. Whereas if you structure it like this, if they kaiju the Hextia here, you still have a negate here and the bounce. So it's kind of iffy. You kind of want to make the best judgment of what they're playing if you think they would main kaijus, because this is stronger in general, because what will happen is you have your silk to bounce your multi-faker to bounce a card, you then have the Hextia to tribute for 1 negate, the Hextia to tribute for 2 negates, and then obviously this Hextia, because it's in a new turn, you will still get a search off this. So this is stronger in general, but like I said, one kaiju breaks this, whereas this is stronger against kaijus and pieces of removal in that sense. But yeah, that's pretty much the combo. I hope everyone enjoys. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for a chance to win this absolutely beautiful mat. I'll also throw in the field center, why not? But otherwise, I hope everyone enjoys, and I'll catch you ladies and gentlemen in the next one.